Ubisoft is dead, on the literal verge of bankruptcy, and Assassin's Creed Shadows, in no small way, is very directly responsible for this. Because you see, Ubisoft decided to put all of their eggs in this literal George Floyd basket of a disaster. It's woke, it's lame, it's dull, it's stupid. No one likes it. Assassin's Creed Shadows is unironically, literally, a generational flop. Because this is probably the hardest flopping game that we have had in at least the last 2 decades. And it was one of the most expensive ones also. Most likely, roughly 600 to probably even 800 million worth in marketing and development costs. Well, unless you believe Yves Guillemot, the CEO of Ubisoft, who said that Assassin's Creed Shadows costed only 100 million to make. I can't believe he actually unironically said that. There's lying, and then there's being that absolutely out of it. And Assassin's Creed Shadows did the second stupid thing also that's possible. They actually released an expansion. And that's what we're going to be looking at. And if you're wondering, is the expansion doing well? Well, my dear friends, I would invite you to look at this screen right here. I'm sharing it right now. Bam! This is the expansion. It came out literally a day ago. Yes, a day ago, which means that the expansion dropped somewhere here. Well, granted, the expansion roughly has increased Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed numbers by 2 times, which is amazing. If we ignore the fact that literally barely 2K people play it. Okay? So, 2.5 times, which is better. The expansion is here. This is the expansion right here. This is when it dropped. The 16th of September on a Tuesday yesterday of making this video. And before it was like 2K people, 3K people. On average it was 2K and kind of even lower. It's really bad. You can't even see this on the graph. Remember how much I make fun of Starfield for having that poor of a graph? Because this is literally sales. This means that literally almost no one bought the expansion for Assassin's Creed Shadows. Which makes sense because no one's playing the base game. But how bad do you really think things are? If Starfield had a better looking graph when the expansion released, you know, when you press max on Starfield, you at least can tell that, you know, somewhere here there's an expansion release, okay? But you can't even tell where the expansion release is on this graph, which means effectively no one actually decided to play it. Which is understandable, it's Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's the most woke thing since wokeness itself popped up. It's absolutely disgusting. 3 out of 4 or 2 out of 3 relationships are literally forced gay because reasons, obviously. And I mean, you're literally a black guy in medieval Japan who Ubisoft is blatantly attempting to rewrite history, because that's what they do, these bunch of clowns. And if a peasant doesn't bow down to you, it's off with their head. Okay? Great stuff. They decided to make a middle. Assassin's Creed Shadows was something that people were desperately begging for literally years, by the way. Assassin's Creed Shadows, Assassin's Creed Japan, was supposed to make billions. Since the dawn of Assassin's Creed, people have been literally drooling and begging for it to be made in Nippon. And Ubisoft did it. And instead of making billions, they made barely thousands. It is insane. So, let's check what's actually new in this expansion. Spoiler alert, no one cares. But, I mean, let's laugh, right?
Claws of Awaji is the first DLC for Assassin's Creed Shadows, perhaps the only DLC.
By the way, they couldn't even name it something interesting. Claws of Awaji. The hell?
and I got to play it early. So thanks to Ubisoft for sending me a code and allowing me to share my thoughts with you guys. A few bits of background info. First off, you have to complete the entire game, including the epilogue, kill all of the targets to even access this. So this is, end game content. And also the team leading this piece of DLC is Ubisoft Bordeaux, who made Assassin's Creed Mirage, which had some really good parts.
Nobody cares. Assassin's Creed Mirage happened a billion years ago. All the people who made the good things from Ubisoft, Blizzard, BioWare, Bethesda, and many, many more companies, they're gone. They are gone. The only companies that are AAA and currently are not completely just breaking down and being shit, and I'm talking barely, are pretty much Paradox Interactive. They make top-down things, kingdom stuff and things like that. And the other one is, I already forgot the name. It's that nothing impactful, but one is Paradox and the other. I mean, fill in the blanks. Paradox. Oh, right. Street Fighter, Capcom, and those two companies are beyond greedy. They're literally gonna sell you 0.1 gold piece in a game for $20 if they can, and they will. And those are the pretty much strongest still remaining AAA developers that people don't instantly hate. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of hatred, but I mean, at least people kind of don't super hate them instantly.
Parts to it, in my opinion. Coming into this DLC, my expectations were that I'd see more Assassin Templar stuff, because it really felt like the main game siloed that for the very final 5 hours with Yasuke. Maybe they would build upon that foundation that was laid at the end, and unfortunately that's just not the case. Claws of Awaji is more Assassin's Creed Shadows. If you played the main game and enjoyed that, I think you'll enjoy the DLC. If you didn't, then I don't think you're going to enjoy this. The plot picks up after the epilogue, where you learn that Naoe's mother, Tsuyu, is alive, and she's a real
Who cares?
assassin. She was part of the foundation of the Brotherhood in Japan. You team up with her to locate the final piece.
Empowered woman? Check, boys. Again, Ubisoft is ridiculously woke.
Of the regalia, those 3 pieces that are supposed to preserve peace. And it's assumed that these are pieces of Eden, right? They're powerful objects that are sort of the MacGuffin of the Assassin's Creed franchise, but you never get to see them. There are multiple times where the sword is in the scene, but I'm like, open the freaking box. Let me see.
Wait. What does it say here? This sword, quest item. You cannot get more mouth breather than this, honestly, right?
Open the freaking box. Let me see that really cool sword. It doesn't happen. The big bad in this DLC is named Yukari, and she leads the Senzoku Ippa, which are the new temple.
Okay, so we have main character Vomit and now evil Vomit. Holy. Also, the hell is this?
Templar outfit. And
oh, wait, that was her eyelids closed. That is disgusting. Let's look again.
Which are the new Templar outfit. And so it's sort of like,
oh yeah, her eyelids look like, what the hell is this? Are we talking about lizard people now?
They serve the Templars underneath it all, but really they're just another faction from the game. They're another one of those objective board wheels that you remember from the main.
Wait, did we just have a classical moment of bad guys have the good guys cornered, but they're like, I'm gonna leave you alive for no reason, that's gonna be fine, surely? Great, that's amazing story writing, said no one ever.
Part of Shadows. Don't get me wrong, they do say the word Templar, and they do at times talk about how, the assassins are the ones who are delusional. The Templars really, in actuality, want peace. But it didn't capture me. It felt like a lesser version even of the final 5 hours of the main game, where it really kicked into overdrive with how evil the Templars are. I didn't really feel that in this.
Are these animations? What the? Oh, Jesus Christ. What is going on?
DLC. Let's take a detour and talk about some positive stuff. And my positive things are very similar to the main game. I enjoyed the gameplay of this DLC. The fact that it is stealth first and the new weapon, the bow staff for Naue, is really fun.
Ain't it the boa staff? I mean, who cares?
It's got its own entire skill tree, which you can invest mastery points into. You can knock people down and do a ground attack. You can hit them up high, which stuns them, or you can just do a neutral attack, which pushes them away. It's a really nice combination weapon. It feels versatile and very powerful. I had a good time with this throughout the DLC. And then there.
Okay, I'm imagining that's by the way true, because if you have played this game and you're reviewing it because it's well, you're fucking forced. Money! Ah, what a great motivator, ain't it, boys? I at least to get to get fun of English hard 10 out of 10. By the way, like the video, that much I can say normally without English being heard, because I can guarantee you, if you like the video, more people are going to see this and now know how bad Assassin's Creed Shadows truly is. And a lot of people need it. So spread the good word, like the video, maybe even comment how much you hate this slop. Because I will read it and I will smile.
There's the beauty of Assassin's Creed Shadows, which in any Assassin's Creed game, Ubisoft games in general, can't be disputed. These are very pretty, gorgeous games where if you slow down and look at the scenery and take it all in, it's nice. It's great. It's incredible what they've built here. For the most part, for me, though, the environment is not much different from what you encounter in the main game on the main island. Awaji is obviously surrounded by water, so there's more, beach, there's more ocean. There's also some interesting brambles towards the center of the island and kind of north. Unfortunately, you just don't spend very much time going through here, and for the most part, you're just riding through on horseback, so it doesn't have as much of an impact as it might have otherwise. I've also really been enjoying the update that added 60 FPS cutscenes on PC, or unlocked frame rate. It makes them feel so much better and less disconnected from the rest of the experience. But man, the cutscenes, the facial animation, and the delivery of now.
We have already seen it. I mean, there's not a lot of trying here, okay?
Naue is still just
well, actually, maybe this is full 100% trying by woke idiots who are talentless. Probably that, actually.
Not good enough. I briefly tried the Japanese voice just to see if that would switch things up, but that was actually worse for me because in my head, I already played the entire game in English voiceover, so switching that just didn't fix the issue for me. The faces in this DLC, they just feel plastic to me, and the lack of motion capture
plastic
is very noticeable, and it just takes you out of cutscenes that might have had some weight otherwise. Perhaps the biggest issue overall for me, though, is the structure of this DLC, and you guessed it, it is just like Shadows, and it has one particular part that
I mean, why would it actually be different, though?
It is really frustrating and honestly feels like a mistake, like they forgot something or left it out or didn't think it through. Once you get to Awaji and sort of establish a base of operations, it's understood that you have to take down Yukari's 3 Taishos. These are her capos, the people sort of surrounding her and protecting her. Once you take out them, you can strike Yukari, get the regalia back, and you win. The first 2 are very normal affairs. It's just like the main game. You follow leads for these targets. The first one's the spy master. You're led down a rabbit hole, and then suddenly you find out who it is, and you take him out, and it's, it's fine. It's pretty satisfying. And then you go after the ambusher. That one's a little more convoluted.
And at least that's kind of funny.
And
I absolutely love it in Assassin's Creed Shadows. You're just like, peasant. And it's like dead. It's so good. It's so funny. Peasant. Cha, boy. Oh man, that's so good.
That boss fight, I have to give big kudos to UB Bordeaux for actually constructing an interesting boss fight that I think is better than anything in the main game. It tripped me up. It was fun. It had me thinking on my feet. It reminded me of Metal Gear Solid.
I'm not gonna lie. Press X to doubt.
Delta, actually.
Also, this is a woman.
It was
100%
really cool. And then you come to Tomeji, and Tomeji's thing is that he has a bunch of captains protecting him. And wouldn't you know it, the game says go and kill like 12 of these captains in order to take him down because
bro, it's just what it's just woman constable, bro.
he's too strong otherwise. Go and kill 12 targets that you really don't
Okay, this is like this is like we're transcending Volk, and now it's violence towards women. What the hell?
care about. I was already kind of prepared for that in this DLC, right? But the problem is the game only tells you one thing about how to locate them on Awaji, and that's to help citizens. These are the NPCs that will sometimes be on
Based. That's how you draw out the game, okay? Instead of assassinate one target, assassinate 12 targets. 10 hours of time well spent, my friends.
the sides of roads outside of towns who are kind of on their hands and knees and being assaulted by, you know, an enemy guard, right? These are the citizens they want you to find. How do you find them? Good luck. You're just going to have to figure that out on your own. You would think that the game would use the scouting system where it gives you some clues about where someone might need some help, but no, it doesn't. I was able to find several different ways of finding citizens to locate these captains on the map. The first one is what we just talked about. The second one was running...
By the way, you're probably, as am I, wondering, wait a minute. You need to kill 12 captains to make the big guy killable. And the big guy, killing the big guy means you need to kill only 2 more to make the main big guy killable. But none of these defenders are even near the big guy. So how the fuck are they defending him? Don't know. Why ask even? Why honestly bother at this point?
Into enemy camps and stirring up enough trouble until the game says captain has been alerted. Then the captain will come as a sort of boss, kind of like the guardian system in the main game. But that also doesn't necessarily work every time. I would run into camps, cause trouble, and then no captain would be alerted to my presence. The third way is that there are some unmarked side missions that you just have to walk by and overhear in order to know that they exist. The first one is in Sumoto, which is the first town that you arrive at in Awaji. You talk to this woman who's selling puppets and says, "I'm missing a puppet." And then you can eventually find a vendor, buy that puppet, and bring it back to her, and she'll give you some intel. I'm sure there are some more unmarked quests like this, but I hope I'm painting a good picture of this, because there is a certain point that you will hit in this DLC where any sort of momentum narratively...
I love the fact that you're killing people who have armor that's almost impervious. Well, pretty much impervious to blunt attacks from something as small as a boa staff, and you kill them. That's actually hilarious, okay? This thing should not be dealing any damage to them. This is Star Wars Outlaws Ubisoft all over again, by the way, with the fact that a woman is punching people left, right, and center who are wearing armor that's supposed to mitigate these blunt damages, but she's like, "Yeah, boy, I'm coming for you!" And one shot, kapow. Man, Ubisoft never changes, does it?
Grinds to an absolute halt because this game doesn't tell you where to go to find these captains. You're relying on the randomness of finding these citizens who need your help. By the way, sometimes citizens are...
Well, again, that's how they get 10 hours. That's how they make the game 10 hours. By making it extremely tedious and slop.
Are being harassed. I did help, and then they would just scream and run away. This became very...
Well, of course they do. You literally killed someone like it was nothing. Like, I'm running away from that also. I'm not saying, "Hey, thanks for saving me." I'm fucking booking it, okay? It's understandable. I'm not even keeping it against them.
Similar to the fresh...
This is what happens when you have the most autistic story you can. Nothing makes sense, duh.
Frustration I felt towards the back end of the main game, where you are hunting down these targets on the target board and you're using the scout system, which is just dreadful. Every time you're trying to find something, you have to open the map and use this scanning little mini game to find what you're looking for. Eventually, I did kill, I want to say, 8 of the captains before Tomeji was finally alone. The quest told me that he was alone, so I was able to progress the main story. This brings me to another issue that I have with this DLC. I will say that the game does warn you, but I still don't think it makes sense that they did this. The boss fight here...
I'm actually listening to the dialogue here, and it's atrocious, by the way. I don't know if you can hear it, but it is really bad.
...is tuned for Yasuke. Even the NPC beforehand says, This guy's an expert against Shinobi. But they know that you're going to play as Naue. Naue has the bow staff. There's a reason.
By the way, they changed a lot about the slop game before release. They tried to cut Yasuke out as much as possible because he doesn't exist. Well, he exists in history, but he was a slave. Okay, that's it. You're glory. Well, I mean that technically makes sense that they would do that, but hey, dude, no, look at. I have not seen, by the way, a single review or anything that says, oh yeah, I'm playing as the giant black dude in Japan. I love it. I have not even heard anyone do that, okay? It just doesn't happen. It's dude, just stop, Ubisoft. Well, you're gonna stop because you're out of money now.
Naue is played.
How does that 12 billion in debt feel, huh? Does it feel good? I hope it feels good because you literally did that yourself. You decided that this is a good idea.
Played more by players. She's more interesting. Tomeji is just a bad boss fight. There's no other way to say it. He's tuned ridiculously on normal difficulty. He two-shots you with unblockable combos. And also this area of effect Kanabo attack that just blows, man. I ended up turning down the difficulty, and I never do that in games. So I died enough times to this boss fight where I was like, no, I'm done. I'm good. I think it was built up frustration after the captain's nonsense. I'm not allowed to show you the final boss fight, but same thing there, guys. Really overtuned, and I understand that this is endgame DLC. They want you to min-max your RPG build in order to defeat the enemy, but I'm finding that one-shot hits where I have full health is not the kind of experience I expect from Assassin's Creed. But I just jumped ahead. Let's go back for a second. For the
well, I mean, that's what I would expect from Ubisoft. That's a thing, though.
Final target, you go back to chasing down leads and talking to NPCs and preparing for the final fight in a very normal sort of way. And it just struck me how strange that weird stop point in the middle of this DLC was with the captains. Which, by the way, I was having so much trouble that I had to ask a fellow creator reviewing this game, this DLC as well, like, how do you find the captains? How did you get around this? He said that he talked to other creators and they had the same problem. So yeah, I just find this a symptom of the design flaw in the main game, which has been around for years with these larger RPG creeds, which is the Where's Waldo? Hunting down targets you don't care about with names, with tiny little blurbs in the description that have nothing to do with anything. I think the most cynical viewpoint you could have for this choice is that it pads the runtime. There's more game because of this.
Are you kidding me? Of course it pads the runtime. I can guarantee you. This was made to pad the runtime. No question, no nothing. Made to pad the runtime. It is what it is. Simple. Do you honestly think they don't know what they're doing? Do you really think that they don't know that they're padding the runtime? Do you not think that they're doing this intentionally? Of course they are. Especially like when you're in a bad situation like Ubisoft. I mean, what else are you supposed to do?
It's because of this.
Also, boys, tell me in the comments right now, is this better or is wait? Let it adjust. Let it adjust. Or is this better? Yeah, which one is better? I mean, I can't tell. I'm blind. I guess this one's kind of neat.
Random chicken with your head cut off hunt where you don't know where you're looking for these targets. The only real marketing we've seen for Claws of Awaji always makes sure to say that it's 10 plus.
By the way, so shills are gonna make you believe that Assassin's Creed Shadows is outselling Odyssey plus the other big Assassin's Creed. That it's on its way to sell 100 million copies if you actually do the math by their standards by the end of the year. I'm not kidding, by the way. If you believe what Ubisoft and the shills are lying, that this is Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Valhalla, and it's better than them, that it's like 3 times better than them or something, then if you do the math for how much those games sold, then Assassin's Creed Shadows should be hitting 100 million copies sold in 2.5 months. Does anyone believe that? Obviously not. So if Assassin's Creed is doing so well, why aren't they promoting this? Because I mean, DLCs are free money almost. Okay, unless you don't sell any copies for the DLCs. Strange, is it not? Okay, now it's definitely two things. Okay. Oh, actually go that far down. Holy, this is piss. I did not know my lamp can do that. I have only had the lamp for 3 years at this point. Don't at me, bro.
Hours of content. I think if they did not have this section, it would probably be 8+ hours of content. It takes a solid 2 hours to do this part, and it's not a fun 2 hours. It really degrades the whole thing and exhausts you. The more forgiving read on this decision is that it just follows the same game design principles as the main game, which then you could probably say, okay, they did that as well because it pads the runtime. I feel like I'm being too negative, so I want to highlight a few things positive that I did write down in my notes as I played this DLC. There's a few missions that allow you to put on a disguise and blend in. There's one non-combat mission that I found particularly interesting where you have to walk around and gather some clues to find one of your targets. That's the stuff I want. That's cool. There were also a surprising amount of tailing missions, which I know some of you are going to listen to that and roll your eyes until they fall out of the back of your head. I love that stuff. It makes me feel like an assassin. There were a couple of those in this DLC. When I saw them, I was like, yes, please, and thank you. I also enjoyed the little parkour routes that they created. There's 2 of them that I remember where they lead you through an interesting environment. And
okay, this seems fun in real life, not in a game.
at the very end, you do a sumie, which it's not my.
And yes, I came multiple times close to death as a child, if you're wondering.
My favorite thing in the main game either, but in this game at least you don't have to like stalk an animal. It's just a landscape. So now he stops and draws a landscape of an environment, and there's some cool spots. Briefly, during the Spy Master part of this narrative, there's a really cool mechanic where if you use your scouts to scan the map, that same area will be on high alert and random people will start attacking you if you run through the area. That is cool stuff, but
that seems stupid.
The game removes that mechanic immediately once you defeat the Spy Master, which like narratively makes sense, but that's the first one that they recommend you do, so you're getting rid of this cool new mechanic immediately. And I just didn't understand the thought process behind that. Another little update thing I enjoyed, not related to the DLC, is that they allow you to keep Naoe's hood on during some of the cutscenes, but it's kind of weird that it's not all of them. Like some of them are required story, maybe motion captured scenes where they don't let you do that. And the fact that they do in some scenes and not in others is kind of jarring. I rolled the credits on Claws of Awaji and kind of took a deep breath and calmed down. And then I went back to your main base of operations in Awaji, found an NPC who once again gave me other objectives to take down more faceless, nameless targets. You could
based and real, okay? If you spend money on this, that's what you deserve. Okay? Let's be real for a second. That's exactly what you get and what you should get and what you deserve. Oh boy. Anyway, that was Joey, 10 out of 10. Don't buy Assassin's Creed Shadows.